Hello, hello.
And once again, forgot to hit record.
You have one job, Danna.
I literally have one job. Like, I cannot forget it.
Speaking of jobs, you got a new job at the fruit farm, which you're now playing hooky from right now.
I am playing hooky. Don't tell anyone. We left to come podcast.
There's
really
no
quick.
one running the fruit farm right now. If you want to steal anything, stop
Now's
on
the
over.
time.
Actually,
Too bad this is being recorded at a previous date.
That's right. Bill Patterson is running the fruit market.
So really now is the time to go steal anything.
He's probably sitting in his office.
No,
like,
I did.
On his computer.
I do have to say this funny story about my new job. So I always joke that like my list of responsibilities is ever growing at the market, but today really took the cake. I was just appalled just now. So I'm not appalled. I just think it's funny. Someone called to tell me that a dog had
Pooped.
I was trying to say like a nice way of putting it.
Excremented.
Yeah, at the playground, and they like called from the playground to tell me. And
let's set this up. If you've never been to our market is like has a paved parking lot and a huge, really fun playground right beside the market.
Like it's like
100 feet.
100 feet.
Furthest.
It's right there. So they called. So I was like, oh, that's kind of funny that
from
they called.
The playground.
It was right there. The only thing though, after the fact, I was like, well, maybe if they have like a little one, they didn't want to leave the little one. So actually, now that I'm saying it,
everybody in the playground was in pairs, though. I will say.
Correct. But what I'm laughing about at this point in time, after the fact that I'm now the one that went up and cleaned up the dog poop, is I'm 90% sure
it was my dog's poop.
It was from your dog.
They were out on the playground.
So
we can discuss the description.
That's
of it
really
later.
what the issue is.
I said
at this
I
point.
would go clean it up.
Not that the customer called
from
to
the
tell me
playground.
this,
but you were literally looking out the front door, watching her talk to you.
Her talk to me. I was like, oh.
And if you're a listener of the Mismatch podcast, I mean, it's pretty funny.
It's funny that you called me. I'm okay with it. Thank you for that. But if you ever see poop out there, know that it is not some random jerk that left their dog's
that's
poop.
not even true.
It's probably Kristin's
That's
dog.
not true. Do you know how many dogs poop in my front yard?
No, it is awful that people do let their dogs do it. It drives me insane.
Dog poop is the worst.
Please
poop
clean up.
too.
This is not just here. Everywhere. If your dog
just
poops,
clean up after your
dog.
dog.
Like,
Why is that? Me, you just let it go to the playground. Kids and Dan will clean it up for you.
Oh my gosh.
That wasn't even on our list of things.
That wasn't, but that was pretty funny. Oh, Tom just showed it. He has this little bag that he carries all the time for the dogs.
Oh, Tom does. We've talked about this when he was really training the pups.
Oh my gosh, he had like a little.
He had a clip.
It was like the equivalent of a fanny pack
for a man with dog treats.
It was. It had dog treats. It was like a little bag, like a hip bag.
So he had his like.
And it had poop bags and treat bags. It had like all these things. It was like a tool belt, but for dog training.
Yeah.
It was so lame.
And then he would carry his leash.
We had
a lot of equipment with these dogs.
We do have fairly.
You know, on the last like 5 podcasts, these dogs have barked on our podcast.
I know it. So we think we might start podcasting from the market, like just for fun.
So we can take random walk-ins and have them be on our podcast.
I think it'd be great.
Well, we're gonna have our first live in-person guest.
That's
so we kind of have to move it out of your house.
I mean, she could come here, but I do feel like I have to clean my house then. It'd be weird.
Well, it was kind of fun because Jamie Sullivan, who is a mom in the area, and she has a page called The Mommy Anchor. She also happens to be a news anchor. But she's like, I think it'd be fun to do it in person. I feel like she just wants to come and hang out with us.
Which is fine.
Very fun. She's an avid listener, and we would love to hang out with you.
Yes,
so we're going to try it first in-person one. So we're excited about that. So Sam turned 18. We have an adult in the house.
It's so exciting.
We had his graduation party, which was a success.
You really threw a nice party.
It was a very fun party. We almost did not have enough food. We clearly did not have enough beef tenderloin.
Which is shocking because, like, normally you and I entertain the same way.
We have so much food.
We always have too much. Like, every time we have a party, we end up being together the next night for dinner because we have so much.
Right.
And, yeah, it went. I mean, it was
so I said originally, but I looked, it was 15 pounds of beef tenderloin, like sliced thin for sliders, and like cheesy potatoes, and we had nothing. Well, we had hot chicken sandwiches, but hi, Isabel. Campbell's friend, Isabel, loves the hot chicken sandwich, so we sent a little bit of that home with her. And then 6 pounds of meatballs disappeared.
Yeah, that was
gone.
The meatballs were a huge hit.
They always are. Yeah. I told Bill anything that kids can walk away with.
Because they don't want to sit. They don't want to be stuck sitting. They want to, like, go and mingle.
Right, so they can just, like, grab the meatball. Right. They can grab the brownie. They can grab the we call them, they're like snickerdoodles.
Oh my goodness.
They're so
my
good.
Kids love those.
But they're not snickerdoodles. They're called cinnamon jumbles. My mother-in-law makes them, and they're different than a snickerdoodle. They're a little fluffier. They are amazing. So I think if she would have made like 500, they all would have
They still would have gone. It wouldn't have mattered the amount.
Anyways, it was a huge success. It was great. So Sunday, we also had like graduation Sunday at church, and then we had a 4-H meeting. So Bill had to go to Costco to pick up the cake. So I'm like, Sam, like, let's go to a bakery. Like, what do you want your cake to look like? He's like, I just want the vanilla Costco cake.
That's my kid.
I'm like,
That's
okay.
my boy. That's
I mean,
how
it is
my
a good
Sam is.
cake.
Or my Joe. My Joey, his favorite cake is the Costco chocolate cake.
Yeah, the chocolate cake is good. They actually had that cake at church.
The
Same morning for graduation Sunday. And then they got the vanilla in the afternoon. So Bill had to go pick up the cake. Well, I went to 4-H, the kids. So his new habit when he goes to Costco is like, oh, you need me to go to the bakery? I'll go to the bakery. Well, so if you've listened before, he and Danna like to scroll Venmo.
So we have a thing that every time that we go through Venmo, we all of a sudden we'll be like scrolling, and I'm like looking at. It's like a social media, like what other people
who paid
are.
Who for what?
Yes.
So nosy.
But why else would Venmo offer that feed if they didn't want you to look at it? I think that's the purpose of
There's
it.
this little check you do, and
Hey,
it's
you
called
can do private. I know, and so I often do private. Sometimes I do.
You don't want to
if I don't remember, whatever, I don't care. But like, there's certain things obviously I want it private. Like if I'm like, like
what do you want
surprise?
private?
No, like if you're doing like a surprise party.
What are you
or
paying
something.
for, Danna?
I don't know, but like if it was like a surprise party or something like that kind of thing. But
secret.
What just happened?
It says we have limited space remaining.
Is it okay?
Okay.
It's
Yeah,
still
we're
going.
good.
Okay. So anyways, so he texted the other day and he was like, I have a game that might be better than our Venmo game. And then he'll be like, did you see that so-and-so knows so-and-so because they paid them on Venmo? And I'm like, yeah, I saw that. Like we get like.
So-and-so had drinks with so-and-so.
Right.
They
And
paid each
they
other.
Venmoed each other or they had dinner together. And we're like, oh, I know, they didn't ask us. Like we get like, we're kind of.
You people need to get better.
So this is like what Bill and I do. So the other day he called or he texted and he was like, I have a new game. He's like, I was at the bakery at Costco and you can look and it has like people's cakes and their
that ordered them ready for pickup.
Right. And it has like their paper that they filled out and what they wanted on the cake, like happy birthday Kristin. Bill picked up the cake, so it has Bill's name on it and it'll say like happy birthday Kristin. So if you know Bill and it says happy birthday Kristin, you realize Bill is having a party that you were not invited to. So he found like 3 people in the 2 days that he was at Costco that he knew that was having a party that he was not invited to.
He just likes to see what's going on. He's like, oh, so-and-so had their first communion.
Right, someone had a graduation
party. I'm like, oh my gosh,
We-
go pick up the cake. I did the
were
rest of the shopping the
dying.
last time we were there,
Well,
and he was like scrolling the cakes.
I love it. It's a new game. I will absolutely do it every time I'm there now.
Very bizarre.
So if you don't want me to know about your party,
Don't
you
order
better
a
not
cake
get a
from
Costco
Costco.
cake.
So strange. So the other day at work too, we had donuts at Don. And in walks Danna. She wasn't working. Apparently she coordinates donuts with Don with the elementary school
I do.
as a PTO mom. And Danna's like all dolled up.
Well, I don't normally, like when I go to the
You
market.
had your face on.
When I go to the market, I don't really wear a lot of makeup or anything, and I just throw on a t-shirt and
You're
sweats.
hanging out with me too long.
Well, I don't need to get dressed to go to the market. I
Might
get
sell some
dirty
more
there.
stuff.
I get dirty.
People might come to see you if you look nice.
I don't think so. So I had a doctor's appointment later that day, and I showered and washed my hair that morning. So, I mean, that was it.
She looked good.
But I got dressed in a non-Patterson clothing.
So everyone's like,
Whoa.
you're dressed today.
People were shocked.
But it wasn't just Bill. It was Bob. It was like everyone at the market.
Everyone.
Like, Danny, you're looking good.
You have makeup on. I'm like, yeah, I am a normal human.
Yeah. It's kind of funny when they see you outside of the Patterson.
I just never, when I was in high school, I lifeguarded from like literally the time I was 15 until I was like well through college. And that was always our joke is like after work, we would go out for drinks and whatnot. Like once I was 21, we would go
Juice
out.
can be coffee or
Right,
tea.
we would go out and hang out. We would go out to dinner, whatever. So anyways, we would like all go home from work, get changed, and then go out. And it was always so weird. We saw each other basically in our bathing suits. So we were like half naked, like all day long, right?
There's nothing to
There's
like,
nothing
get
to
us
hide,
out.
right? Mayfield Public Pool, right? Like that was what we like lived in these bathing suits for the entire summer. So at the end of the day, when you were like go home and get dressed, it was like weird to see people like dressed in normal clothing and their hair not wet and makeup on, and you were like, oh, I don't even recognize you in normal clothing. So it's the same concept. I don't want a job where I have to like. I had that kind of job already. I don't want a job where I have to get dressed anymore in the morning.
So I used to always look nice. Like when I take the kids to school, like for preschool drop off, like I always like tried to do my best to like look good. And I don't know what's happening to me.
You have a very dirty shirt on right now.
This is a LuLaRoe.
It's great, but it's filthy.
It is. So I went this morning, Bill and I went to the feed mill to pick up feed. And we picked up feed for like the next month. And then I had to organize and I'm just covered in like dust and dirt and
You're dirty.
a lot of filth from the barn. So clearly I don't like put myself together when I go places. But today we have to go actually to Columbus tonight. And I have to like put on heels and a dress and makeup and like do something with his hair.
And get functioning. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was funny because this morning the kids left, the 8th graders left this morning to go on their Williamsburg/Washington, D.C. trip from today's Tuesday until Friday. They go for 4 days, which is like so exciting. It's such a cool trip they're going on, and they're super excited for it. So we had to drop them at the school at 6. So we left about 5:45. For once, we were totally on time.
You don't want to be late.
Didn't want to be late, so we were totally on time. And I drop her off, and it was a fairly quick drop off. Like the buses were not there yet, so they had them like all waiting inside. But whatever, we like parked the cars, and they walked in and everything. So, anyways, I was home by like 10 after 6. So I'm like, the boys don't wake up till 7. I'm like, it would be stupid to like go back to bed. I already had a cup of coffee. I'm like, I'm gonna work out.
Oh.
Like I'm gonna get on the Peloton. So I did. I did a half hour on the Peloton. And then I went afterwards and I like went and sat on my patio.
Wow.
And had a cup of coffee. It was such a beautiful morning.
By yourself?
Alone. And I literally just like scrolled Facebook on my phone, which I never have like time to just sit. I mean,
You scroll.
I scroll Facebook, but like the problem is like I don't have the time to do that. I shouldn't do that, but this was wonderful. And then I went and I made a lunch and I did all these things and I was like, what would my life be like if I woke up an hour earlier every day?
My most productive time in the morning is the first 2 hours of my day.
Yeah.
I wake up early.
The dishwasher's
So you make fun of me for
unloaded.
going to bed early, but I get up early and I get stuff done.
Yeah. And like
I learned this from my mother.
This is insane.
It's so nice.
So I'm like, what would happen? So like you're saying about like, oh, you have to go get ready, you have to go, do all these things. I'm like, I could do my hair, do my makeup. I don't know that I would do it on days where I work at the market, but like you're definitely more productive if you're like up and at 'em. And I'm like, maybe I should.
I have my morning routine and I really like it.
I just don't know that I can physically get out of bed when the clock still says 5 something.
Yeah. 4:30 is hard.
I used to go to yoga at a 6 a.m. class, and it was perfect because it was 2 seconds up the road. I would literally roll out of bed and go. So I would get up at 5:40, and I would be in class ready to go by 6 o'clock.
Then you're like rejuvenated.
It was
really
great.
ready.
I loved it. Then I had to switch to a 5 a.m. class, and I just couldn't do that.
4:30 wake up is
Because
hard.
I could not get up when the clock said 4.
Yeah.
Like I just couldn't do
It's
it.
hard.
I could do the 5:45. So I just don't know if I can get back to that 5:45, 6 o'clock I wake up at 6 now with Liv, but she gets herself ready.
We could do it. We could get up at 5:30 and we could meet on our Peloton and do a ride together. That's my challenge to you this week. We're going to wake up early and do a ride
I
together.
said 6. I was saying 6.
I need to get up earlier.
Right. I don't want to do that.
Well, we'll talk about that. Okay. So 8th graders are gone. I'm super excited. Jack actually just sent me a Snapchat, so I'm like dying to know what it is. But Campbell this morning said all the girls have their private stories. So on the trip, they've got their private stories that they share with their friends.
Yeah, Olivia's been like blowing up her Snapchat.
So I'm excited to see how that went. Yesterday, the 7th graders went to the State House in Columbus, and they also went to the Olentangy Indian Caverns, which is a
Is that how you
great
say that? Do you know
place.
that I've always said Olentangy?
Oh, it's so wrong. Olentangy.
I've always said Olentangy.
Olentangy. How do you say Lancaster?
Well, now I say Lancaster.
Some people say Lancaster or
How do you
Lancaster.
say where baseball bats are made in Kentucky?
Louisville.
Okay,
Not Louisville. Louisville. I knew that because we go to sheep shows, and I have enough friends from Kentucky.
Tom has family there, so it's like a big deal.
Yes. So Olentangy Indian Caverns, great spot if you're looking for something to do with your family, like just north of Columbus. But the kids went there, and Parker said it was a great time. So it's fun that they're doing all these celebrations at the end of the year. Campbell's just doing driving school in school. She's like on
She's doing that.
on her computer, like multitasking.
I had drinks with a friend last night. Last week, excuse me. Shout out to Extra Betty, who I think we need to have her on.
We're going to have her as a guest.
But so we had drinks last week, and we were chatting, had a glass of wine, and we were saying how May is truly May-Sember, because it is absolutely busy, if not busier than the month of December with the end of the school year and certain sports ending and certain sports, like spring sports end, summer sports start, end of the school year, graduations, just all of these crazy things. And like, so we've got 8th grade graduation next week. My little Sam is finishing elementary school. He's going to middle school. So like we have his big clap out ceremony
about
next
time.
week.
I still keep thinking he should be in middle school.
I know, because he's very mature and he is older for his grade. And then like, all of our spring sports have started and they're doing all these class trips. He's going on a good time this week, which is like a
do you get to go?
You're working.
But parents are allowed to go.
Parents are allowed to go, but I'm working, yeah. And actually now parents are not. Normally they are, but it's sold out, so I couldn't go anyways, even if I had wanted to. But so there's like all these cool trips that all these classes are going on, and it really is so awesome. But it is, as a parent of 3 or 4 in your case, like it is. Holy, I need it to be over, you guys. Like, I love my kids, and I'm so excited that they get all these opportunities handed to them, but I really need it to be done.
Yeah,
Because I'm really overwhelmed right now.
Sam has birthday too, so we have birthday graduation. Bill's birthday is next week.
It is. I got him a present.
We got a present because we got some new patio furniture for like every holiday this year.
Yes, you're not buying anyone.
We're not
gifts.
exchanging gifts.
But it's really nice patio furniture.
It is very nice. I mean, it's like a 3-piece set from Costco. It's not like we have the $10,000 version, but this stuff is expensive.
I'll tell you, we bought that set last year from BJ's. It's comparable to the Costco one, and I do love it though. And
it's nice.
So much use out of it. And
He sat on the back deck last night. He read a book.
Wow.
Bill Patterson. He normally would read a lot.
It's impressive.
So he's reading a new book. It's a leadership-based book. Shocker.
Of course it is.
So I don't know.
He the furniture is so nice, and
it is. We have a beautiful back deck, and we just didn't have anything to enjoy it on. Like we're always working or standing or like. It's just like we needed it, and so we're hosting the whole Patterson extended family in July for a reunion for breakfast, so we needed something. So it was good.
That's so cool though that you guys. That you did that. That's awesome.
There was something else I wanted to talk about. You said this wasn't podcast worthy. But when I was
we're going to talk about it anyway.
We're going to talk about it real quickly. But when I was growing up, like, first of all, I'm from Southern Ohio. Actually, I'm from, like, Southeast. I'm Central Ohio. But up here in the Northeast region, everyone thinks that I'm from Southern Ohio.
No, it's just like she's like, ooh, it snows in May here still. And we're like,
oh, my gosh. We would never have snow in May.
It still snows.
Yeah.
Northeast Ohio.
But I like the snow. But there's a few words that we've talked about.
Yes.
So I'm on this challenge to make a donut cake. It's like a cake that tastes like a Long John donut.
Long John or underwear?
They're like, what the heck is a Long John?
Underwear.
It's a donut.
It's underwear.
So if you're from Southern Ohio, a Long John is a donut. And I think it originated with a Jolly Pirate donut.
I do believe it's called an eclair.
So up here they call them eclairs. No one knew what the heck I was talking about when I talked about a Long John donut.
All I'm going to do is Google the word Long John. Oh, well, Long John Silver's came up.
That's what Tom said. That was the first thing he said.
Yeah, so Long John Silver's came up, but I don't, like, literally,
anyways,
just so you all know, Amazon brought up Long John.
So it's a donut that looks like an eclair. It's long. It's filled with a cream or a custard or like a chocolate or vanilla, and then it has the frosting on top. So I'm on this challenge to make this, and everyone's looking at me like, what the heck?
Google is not.
There was another word. What was the other word that Bill was talking about this morning that people didn't know what it was?
Oh, I don't know.
I felt like there was another word. But, in Southern Ohio, we have different terms for things. And
I don't know, but Target also finds it to be thermal underwear. So
Long John donut. And I guarantee a picture will come up. It's also more of an Amish thing.
Yeah, okay, so it is, but that's also an eclair.
I think of an eclair being really tiny. So anyway.
Okay, here, Long John versus eclair. A Long John is a type of pastry that is made with 2 pieces of rectangular shaped dough that are filled with cream, custard, or jelly. An eclair is a type of pastry that is made with 1 piece of dough that is filled with cream, custard, or jelly, and then coated with chocolate. All right, this is like...
We have solved the difference.
Oh, I know what it was that we were talking about. Tommy cheese or Tommy cheese?
Tommy or Tommy.
T-O-M-M-E. If you know the answer to this, please let us know.
Well, Radical Dairy.
Radical Dairy.
Sell their cheese and their milk. And I'll have to ask Brenda. Brenda Hastings is the farmer. And I'm going to solve that question.
Please let us know.
Friends, we've run out of time.
It's been great.
Woo-hoo! Back to work we go. Everybody have a great Wednesday.
Bye, guys.
Bye.